Just thought I'd show you how to set up the rendering for rendering these particles out, and also to show you the file caching and just a slight little tweak you have to do if you've cached these out already. The simulation that I did, which I sort of showed at the beginning, ended up with 19 million particles, so it sort of makes sense to sort of cache the particles out at this point and then do the transferring after you've cached it out. It just makes it a little bit less heavy computationally. So we need a file cache node. File cache. Just need to navigate it to a directory. I've already got one, so I'm just going to paste that in. The thing to remember is make sure you've put dot and 4 or however many number of hashes you want for your number sequence. If you don't put the hashes in, it will just rewrite the frame over the same cache over and over again. So you need to put those in so it will add the frame number to each of the file caches. So just plug that in. I'm just going to ignore all the transferring for the time being. When you sometimes plug in these, change the output to a different thing, they sometimes error. I think it's because the stream of data has changed and it gets a bit confused. So just plug it into a new one. It should unerror. So there's my file cache. How it works is you just set it to write, and I've given it a directory. If I just rewind this, hit play, see we're now just caching on the static object again. And I think that should do probably. I think my animation is only about 200 frames long. So once you've cached it, set this to read, and now see that, and you can just scrub through that. Right, so the difference being is the taking the particles from here and putting them through this little network. The difference is once you do it from the cache is if you plug in that, you get errors here, and that's because inside the file cache there is lots of different data types in there. There's like a few arrays of different things going on, like rendering plus the sort of particle information, and we only want the particle information. So this doesn't know that, and it's saying I can't find anything. So what you do, or this doesn't know that, you do tab, and you want a thing called first in array, and it will just take the first array from this cache, which is going to be the particle sim. And once you plug that into there, that one on error, and then you just want to plug that back into the set point position, and then hopefully when you do that it won't error. It did error, just delete that port and do it again. So as you can see now it's on that and it's all cached. So I mean that's being transferred, and it's pretty much doing it. I mean I haven't got a massive amount of particles there, but it's still works really quickly. This, I think this is a really well made node and whatnot for the speed of it. Right, so that's the caching. Let's have a look at the assigning a material. So how we go about that is we do tab, assign material, and we just plug that into the geometry, the out geometry there, and we just need to plug in a material that we want to assign. So if I go to the hypershade and if I hit tab, I'm just going to do a Arnold standard surface. Standard surface, there we go. And if I just middle mouse that in, and then you just connect that to the surface material. So now let's just put this on, do that so you can see it. If I open up the render view, I must must have it open already. There we go. And then I hit play. We're not going to see anything. It's there, but it's all black. There's no light in the scene. So I'm just going to turn on emission colour so we can see it in the scene. There it is. It's there. So, but it's white. So I want the colour from my particles to be attached to that. Let's move that out of the way. So how we do that is we make a new node called AI user data color. AI user data color, and what this node does is it basically allows you to access that color information that's in this Bifrost simulation and then apply it to the material. We need the name of the color attribute, which was, if we can remember, here it is, just color. Like that. And then I'll close it now. I just need to plug that in. I could plug it into any of the color channels. I could put it into the base color, but because I've got a light in the scene, I'm just going to do it as an emission. I'm just going to plug it into the emission color. And so I've got on my material emission weight set to 1, and I've plugged in that user data color into the color channel, and I've just made sure that this has got that attribute in there. So theoretically, when I hit render, it's already done it. So there we go, it's already got the colour in. If I take it up there, you can see it's getting more of the colour. There we go. So that's how you render out the colour channel in the particles from a cache. You probably will want to put on some motion blur. It will help sort of add a bit more detail to the things, and you probably will need a lot more particles in this to sort of get this similar to what I had. Where is that? Yep, so that was 19 million at the end, and you can sort of bigger? No, I can't. Yeah, so there was quite a lot more particles than that to get that sort of look, and that's it.